Welcome to Unit 2.4, Guided Notes. This is where we start playing with proportions and the cross multiply comes into play, and we learned a little bit about it in Unit 0, but some of you didn't make it there, so I'm going to take the time to teach it for those who didn't make it there. Alright, so step 1, when you see a fraction equal to a fraction. Proportion. That's called a proportion. A fraction equal to a fraction. Right? Step 1 is to cross multiply. Right? So what would that look like if you had, I want to make sure I get a clear example. Alright, if you had A over B is equal to C over D, right? Cross multiply means you're going to go A times D, right, is equal to B times C, right? You cross multiply. Let me do two different colors, right? You did A times D. This only works when there's an equal sign between two fractions, only when it's a proportion. And then I did B times C. Right? This is why they sometimes call it the butterfly method, or, well, it's known as the cross multiply method, right? Remember, when two variables are next to each other like this, that means multiplication. That means multiplication. All right, step 2, distribute if necessary. I don't know if we will see some with parentheses. They're invisible parentheses, and I'll tell you how to know if they exist. And then step 3, of course, is solve. So much invisible math with fans. All right, so step 1, cross multiply. So it doesn't matter if you start on the top or the bottom, as long as you cross multiply. Personally, I'm going to start on the side that puts the variable on the left. 3x, which is 3 times x, and then equal to 6 times 4. 3x equals 24. Get rid of the coefficient. X equals 8. Just like that. You know what the missing number is. 4 over 3 is equal to 8 over 6. They're in proportion. They're equivalent. That's why it's called a proportion. Right? So for number 2, you notice how there are multiple terms underneath the divider bar? If there's more than one term above or below the divider bar, then there are invisible parentheses. Do yourself a favor and put the parentheses, right? Put them, because invisible parentheses play with your mind. Put them. All right, so we're still going to cross multiply. So it's going to be 2 times the group n plus 5, and this is why those invisible parentheses are so important. If you don't put the parentheses, you won't know to distribute. And then 10 times 4. Now you can distribute 2n plus 10 equals 40. Get rid of the constant. 2n equals 30. Get rid of the coefficient. N equals 15. At some point, I need you to understand that the answers are important, but it's not all of it. Being able to work it to get to that answer is what's important. In fact, at some point, I might just give you the answers. I don't care as much about the answers as you being able to get there. Because when you have a problem you haven't seen, I need you to be able to get the right answer.
Pardon the interruption, teachers and students. All co-op students please report to room 320. Co-op students please report to room 320. And also, I need Kelton Ward for checkout. Kelton Ward. Thank you.
All right, so anywhere you see multiple terms like on above or below in the numerator, the denominator, go ahead and write your invisible parentheses. Make them visible. Right? Then cross multiply 2y is equal to 5 times the group y minus 3. Distribute if necessary. No like terms to combine. Move my variables. Negative 3y equals negative 15. Get rid of my coefficients. What negative divided by a negative is a positive. So y equals 5. I feel like I need to slow down. Alright, I'm going to spend a little extra time talking about this next one. I'm going to slow it down a notch. Alright. Alright, so cross multiply. It doesn't matter which one you start with, as long as you cross multiply. I can start here, or here, or here, or here. It doesn't matter, as long as you cross multiply. Let's start with the 3 times the group k plus 9. Make that equal to 5 times the group 2k minus 3. Alright, with me so far? Distribute. $3k plus 27 equals 10k minus 15. Move your variables to one side or the other. I'm going to move mine left because negative numbers don't really bother me. Negative 7k plus 27 equals negative 15. Get rid of the constant by using inverse property. They're both negative, so we're going to combine the numbers. So 2, 3, 42, negative 42, keep the negative sign. Get rid of the coefficient using inverse property. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. You should have ended up with k equals 6. Same thing. You know what? Take a second. Put your invisible parentheses. Put the invisible parentheses anywhere there are multiple terms in the numerator or the denominator. Anywhere there are multiple terms, there are invisible parentheses. Go ahead and put them so you don't get confused later. Alright, cross multiply. 8x equals 3 times the group x plus 10. Distribute. Move your variable left. Divide by your coefficients. X equals 6. This time let's start by the 6. 6 times the group p plus 2 is equal to 3 p plus 7. Distribute. 6p plus 12 equals 3p plus 21. No like terms to combine. Let's move my variables. 3p plus 12 equals 21. Get rid of my constant. 3p equals, what's 21 minus 12? 8? 8. So 3p equals 8. Divide by my coefficient. P equals 8 over 3. And that cannot be simplified. cross multiply, 3W equals 6 times the group, W minus 2, distribute. If you catch me in a mistake, call me out on it. I'll give you a prize of some sort. Negative 3W. Now that I've said that, I'm probably going to make a ton of mistakes. Divide by negative 3. W equals 4, because a negative divided by a negative is a positive.
Good afternoon, teachers. Please pardon this interruption. Due to the microphone still not working in the auditorium, we are going to have to postpone the talent show. Details about that will be coming later. However, we do need to see the participants, so when I call your name, I do apologize for the lengthy announcement briefly. I'm going to try to go through it as quick as possible. But we do need to see these following students very briefly in the auditorium at this time. Jataris Coley, Dwayne Rudd, Daniel Ammons, Dajane Hardy, Alexander Edwards, DeAndre McClendon, the rhythm section of the band, Jamarion Seawright, Jabarian Tyus, Keyshawn Marbury, Summer Lee, Antonio Ferguson, Jason Baldwin.
The last two are the same. I'm not even going to work them. Don't even stress about them.
John Savius Davis, Kevin
You're welcome to
Collins,
work them.
Savoya
If you work them
Bland,
and show me and get the right
Christopher
answer, I'll give you bathroom passes.
Bergstrom, Kendrick